A very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of Color Cineplex Presents Television Week 2021. To begin with, I would like to thank our presenting partner, Color Cineplex. Can we please have the Revi?
छोटे सुना क्या 10 ओवर बोले तो गेम ओवर Abu Dhabi T10 League Season 5 starts 19th November live on Color Cineplex, Rishte Cineplex, and Food Select. Abu Dhabi T10 Season 5 19 November से live Color Cineplex, Rishte Cineplex और Voot पर.
Thank you, guys. Moving on to today's session, what makes TV special? On the panel, we have Kunal Bhardwaj, Senior Marketing Director at Upstock, Rajiv Dubey, Head of Media at Dabur India, and Rahul Gandhi, CMO at ID Fresh Food. Welcome, everyone. Now introducing you to the moderator of the session, Ashwini Gangal, Executive Editor at AFAX. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us. The audience is requested to please stay back after this session as we have an interview with Ogilvy's Creative Supremo, Mr. Piyush Pandey. Over to you, Ashwini.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Debashish. Hi, everybody. Hi, audience. Welcome to this panel and warm welcome to my panelists. Now, I just love this topic, okay? What makes TV special? It's wonderful. It's almost magical for me because over the last decade or so, a large part of my job, okay, among other things, has been observing and chronicling television advertising. Okay, so it really does feel as though 10 years worth of observation and study is now collapsing into this 40-minute capsule. All right. So before I go to my stellar panel of marketers, I want to just quickly quote some past panelists, okay, people, experts from the advertising, media, and marketing space on what they think television advertising is. All right, so Josie Paul of BPDO said, television commercials create collective consciousness. Then Amir Jalil of Mullen Lowlintas, another ad man, he said, advertising on TV is culture defining because it's a culture defining medium. That's how he puts it. Then just yesterday, we had Z's Pratyusha Agarwal. She said advertising on television generates trust around the brand. And Vivek Sharma of Pidilite, he said advertising on TV legitimizes a brand. Now, these are all very abstract, intangible, yet very powerful descriptors for TV as a medium and for TV advertising. Okay, nothing about reach, nothing about actual measurability, ROI, none of that. But there's just something magical and powerful about the medium. So I'm looking forward to hearing what my panel today has to say and how they really describe what TV does for their brands. Okay. Now, I would like to quickly go over to them for their opening remarks. We've got Kunal from Upstocks, Rahul from ID Fresh Food, and Rajiv from Dabur. And by design, all of them represent very different types of brands and products, not just because of the product portfolio, also because of category maturity. Each one comes with a very different type of history, right? All these companies. So I want to just ask you to take maybe 2 or 3 minutes each and just call to mind your respective media mix and tell us where TV figures. What role does TV play in your media mix today, as it stands today? And also just to get a sense of the share of your marketing effort that goes towards television. Okay, and then also talk about the genres on TV that are important to you and the languages. So we can start anywhere. Let's start with Rajiv.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, we are a FMCG company. Dabur is a FMCG company. We reach out to almost 69 lakh outlets in the country, which is a massive reach of outlets in the country. And With this going, I mean, we reach out to almost the entire country as such. And if you look at the television today, television reaches out to 210 million households out of 320 households, like approximately 67% of the households at household level. And individuals wise, if you look at it, we reach out to about 892 million individuals, like almost 90 crore people living in 21 crore households, you know, if you look at the numbers. So these numbers are unparalleled. I mean, there is no other medium which reaches out to so many households. And if you want to really legitimize your advertising, if you really want to reach out to so many people in one go, there's no other way than to do television and do a quick build up, you know. And so having said that, you know, I mean, apart from TV, then, you know, there are other things like, of course, like smartphones and say reach of say things like YouTube and Facebook, etc. is pretty good right now, pretty good going. But the way the broadcast medium works, you know, nothing else gives you that kind of reach. And if you want to sell to masses, there's nothing which compares with television even today, you know. So what happens is with companies like ours, although, you know, the digital has been growing very, very fast, and this year you would see that digital would probably become number one medium in the country, or if not this year, maybe next year, it'll become number one medium. It's like right now it's neck to neck with TV. TV still remains very, very important if you want to reach out to the masses, if you want to reach out to the large diaspora across the country, across different languages. If you want to reach out to different geographies, specific geographies, television is the answer. And television remains very, very important medium for companies like ours.
Mm-hmm. And what about the share? You know, just to give us a broad sense of where TV figures in your overall mix. I mean, if it's even possible to do that from a Dabur perspective.
So television is a majority share. I would say that television has a majority share of spends now, followed by digital, and then followed by that is the media. But television is number one, and digital is number two. I mean, just like any other FMCG, unless you are just doing performance marketing, you would try to only do digital. But companies like ours, we do mix of both. So, you know, television becomes the first medium on which you will rely on first.
Of course, yeah. Great, Rajiv. I will come back to you. I have a bunch of specific questions for you, but we'll go to Kunal for his opening remark. Just give us a sense of your media mix. And I know Upstox advertised a lot during the IPL, so it's extra special.
So thanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this question into two. And so when we say television, or when as Upstox, we're going to talk about television, we're going to talk about the FTA, the free to air part, because television is also a lot of CTV and a lot of premium channels and everything. Now, the use of this, and I'm looking at it very dispassionately. For me, it's a tool, and it's a tool to actually fulfill both my business and my marketing objectives. The use of which is completely dependent on where in the brand life cycle a particular brand is. So, for example, for us, we are the fastest growing online brokerage. I could cheekily also say we are the best because we are the fastest growing. But that being said, for us, we operate in a category, like I was discussing with the fellow panelists before, which has only 4% awareness in this country. 96% of my potential audience or the potential wallet still is not aware of this category.
Right.
So therefore, for me, TV as a tool is great because I can do carpet bombing and spread mass awareness. And this helps me tick off the top of the funnel, objectives that I have. And of course comes the bottom of the funnel where, we're talking about desire and final action, which is where my digital comes in. So I think to sum up, as a dispassionate marketer who's ruled by his objectives, it's a great tool if I want to tackle top of the funnel metrics, if used wisely and if measured wisely as well, because suddenly if somebody turns around and says you're running an ad on TV, sales, how many sales did you get? I don't think that's the right metric because it's more of an awareness medium. And now considering, like I said, and coming back and summing this up, like we said that, as a brand,
Yeah.
We are in a category that needs a lot of awareness, and we are a brand that believes in category building rather than trying to do the competitive taking each other's market share. So for us, television is a very, very strong and a very important medium, which you've seen during the IPL as well.
Absolutely.
And I think it will continue to be so as well.
And from a spend perspective, share of marketing effort, just to kind of give us a, in broad strokes,
The Lions share goes there. Because that's in line with what we are trying to do in the market as a brand. We're trying to expand the market.
Okay, great. Great, Kunal. So I'll come back to you as well. But Rahul, first, your opening remarks, just talk about from an ID Fresh Food perspective, how important TV is for you in the media mix.
So one of the reasons when I joined ID Fresh Food a year and a half ago, I was like, the awareness of this quality of a product needs to be much higher. And because of that objective, TV plays a dominant role. So of the total marketing spend that we do, almost 50-55% is on media, and within the total media spend, 65 to 70% is TV. Because of what Kunal said, actually, that it really depends upon the stage that the brand is. So ID is distributed in fairly large number of outlets in pockets of the country which are isolatable by TV. Luckily, so we are able to, we are very deep in Karnataka. We are kind of deepish in, say, Chennai or Hyderabad, and Mumbai, although it's not TV isolatable, but then there are other mediums to supplement what TVs. In the Northwest, we can't afford just Bombay. So because of the situation and the brand life cycle that the brand is in, TV plays a very important role. And usually, so we are a staple. Finally, we advertise the two categories that we are trying to create. We are trying to create a idli dosa batter or a wet mix category, and we are trying to create an Indian breads category. Yeah. Both these are in a way stapleish, and hence our genre is usually GCs. So our media mix will be very similar to what, say, a Saffola media mix would be, or say an Ashirwad media mix would be. So we'd be very heavy on GC, maybe 60, 70, 80% there. And the next would go to movies and music, movies in markets where movies are strong and music in markets where music is strong. That's as far as, the numbers and the role that the is playing in our media mix. As far as your, what makes TV special, I think, people are able to attach emotions to stories. And the reason why they might attach emotions to stories is because they either relate to the character or to the situation. And TV is a great storytelling medium. It is the best storytelling medium apart from cinema. It's just that cinema has not the reach of TV. It's almost like if you had to, the moment people start attaching emotions to products, that's when they become brands. And because TV is such a nice storytelling medium, that's why for attaching emotions to it and maybe changing people's behavior, attitude, emotions, priorities, TV becomes a evergreen medium.
Right. You mentioned batters. So TV is more important for your batters. Then actually, anecdotally, I have seen ads for your batters on TV, not so much for the Indian breads, for parotas and stuff.
Yeah, because we just got the online versions of the film yesterday, so you should see them.
Right. So I haven't missed anything. Okay.
No, you haven't.
Right. And I think your coffee decoction again is more of a digital thing. Is that a fair assessment?
So coffee, we are actually, so we are mostly spending on Amazon, on the performance marketing piece,
right,
and some bit on our own D2C element, and a lot of it on below the line, on in-store stuff, but not so much on TV because the current business size is not able to afford TV.
I see.
Whereas batter and parota are able to. That.
Got it. Okay. Great. So no, that's a nice note to open the floor. So actually, let's just quickly try and articulate the answer to the question above my head. Okay, I know in bits and pieces we've done that already, but I just feel we know the answer instinctively, but we're not able to always put the right words to it. So Rajiv, again, we'll go in the same order. I just want to know, what is it that TV as a medium can offer that other mediums can't? What is so unique about it?
I think the most unique thing is the reach, unparalleled reach, which is which you get in one go, So the kind of impact created by TV, you can't have that kind of impact anywhere. Like print, even print for that matter, the kind of impact print can have, no other medium can have, just like TV. So any broadcast medium like TV and print, which is, if you just discount the spillover, etc., and spillover at times is good for our business, spillover is not bad. I mean, and even for Kunal and Rahul also, for their businesses, I mean, if more people see your ads and more people download your app, there's nothing wrong in it. I mean, more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
And if I were to compare Kunal's business, which is like almost 4% of the country is trading into, say, stock market. I mean, if I compare it with any other say brand in a similar category, I mean, there are brands in our system which have 4% penetration. And what I do is that I try to do television for those brands as well, because I want to reach out to more number of people. I want to expand my pie. I want to expand my business that way, So there's no other way to go about doing a business in categories like ours, which is primarily a repeat order business. You sell the same product to same person again and again, month on month. It's not one-time recruitment which you're doing. You are making a loyal customer base, from product, like what Rahul said, from converting from product to a brand. That journey is done by TV. And there are things which you cannot do without TV right now. I mean, as we stand, the kind of brands we make and the kind of brands we sell, there's no other way of working other than TV because of its sheer reach and the numbers it delivers to you.
Right. Now, Rahul, you already mentioned storytelling, but even so, just try and expound on that. What is it that TV really gives that other mediums can't? And especially for you, because you do need to sell online as well. So, like you said, for some parts of your portfolio, digital advertising is important. So what does TV really do that digital also can't for the rest of your portfolio?
So, see, there are a total of 5 senses, right, that we have. There's sound, touch, hearing, smell, taste. Now, all video mediums address 2. Yeah, there is, or you can see and you can hear. Yeah, and none of the other senses can really do anything. So now that leaves digital and TV. So let's keep out print, let's keep out outdoor, because they're appealing to one of the 5 senses, and let's say the audio video is appealing to 2 of the 5 senses. Now comes that. Now, is digital more effective? Is TV more effective? Why, when, which situation? Now, if the intent is to build stature of the brand, reach out to a large number of audiences, narrate a story about yourself, and create awareness of a large scale, then in that case, the TV obviously gets a bigger advantage because the medium is such that the delivery of content is on a larger screen. The content is always, of top production quality. Yeah, the characters and the people who are there on TV are top-notch actors. Yeah, so when hence the content itself and the content delivery becomes slightly superior to, you watching a YouTube video by a TikToker. Yeah. Because so what happens is that when you do that, then the amount of the kind of impression that gets created because of the way the medium delivers the content and the kind of content is obviously superior. That's where TV gets an edge. However, if that job is done, you have 85-90% top of mind awareness and it's not going down for some reason despite you're not advertising, then what happens is then you get into bottom of the funnel. Okay, everyone is aware of me. I need to convert those guys. Okay, do I give a discount? Do I, do custom targeting? In that case, maybe digital would work better. Yeah, but as far as, what makes TV special in that scenario, which I just explained, I think TV would deliver the best on delivering out 2 of the 5 senses. And, delivery of content through the medium and the type of content is very superior to anything else.
Yeah, very interesting way of putting it, actually. I never thought of it that way. What about you, Kunal? How would you articulate the answer to this question?
I think that pretty much Rajiv and Rahul has summed up everything, every single thought I had in my mind. But I think, look, it's all about, telling you a story in your language. Okay. And the number of times I keep on telling that story to you in your language, that story kind of gets legitimatized in your mind. Which is what a brand like us or any other brand, which is, some cold storage brand that you've never heard about, How does that come into your mindset? It comes into your mindset because it's present at a medium where you know, and exactly what like Rajiv and Rahul were talking about. It's coming in a medium where you know that big bucks are being spent, top quality production is happening, and storytelling is happening, and it's a visual medium. And that itself, I think, is what television does. It kind of, if used properly for proper storytelling, it puts your brand at a pedestal where no matter what you do apart from television, your brand does get noticed. And then the second part of digital kicks in, because then you can use digital both for performance as well as for reminders.
Right.
And that's a much cheaper way of using digital. The moment you set a story in somebody's mind, then you use cheaper mediums. And that's what we've also seen, because for us, what happened was when we launched, IPL took a break. And for us, the moment we started advertising, we were clocking numbers that are at par with the market leader. When the IPL went down, we didn't put, we didn't remove our foot from the gas pedal, right? We started reminding people on digital, and it worked. So I think, just to sum up again, I think television medium legitimizes your message and does put your brand at a pedestal where it is easily recognizable among a sea of other brands as well.
Okay. And do you agree with Rajiv, that, because television is also the only medium where we talk about wastage, media spillage, like he said earlier. Is it okay? Is that a red flag? Or, how do you see that?
No, like I said right in the beginning, right? You need to be absolutely aware of what your objectives are. And everything's measurable, right? In today's world, as marketers, we live and die under that sword of ROI and VFM, right? Everything's measurable. So if I'm doing television, there is measurement happening there in terms of awareness, top of mind recall, aided awareness, so on and so forth. So if that is what my metric is, if I'm delivering, there is no spillage.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. All right. Rajiv, I'll come back to you, and specifically from a Dabur perspective, okay? We've seen the feverish pace at which Dabur has been launching new product after new product over the last 24 months. It's actually dizzying because we've been trying to capture all of them, right? From diapers to, germ kill shampoo and nasal drops and ghee, what have you. So my question to you specifically from the perspective of this topic is, does the role of TV change when it comes to new versus existing products on the portfolio? And also, let's add another layer to that to complicate it. What about category to category? Does it change depending on what type of brand it is? Just walk us through that whole pipeline.
Sure. So in fact, most of the launches which you have mentioned here today, like of ghee and diapers, etc., all these have been e-commerce first launches.
Okay.
So because it's so easy to launch with e-commerce. You basically do a JBP along with them, and you understand the requirement of the product, and you launch it very, very quickly. And so it does two things. One is that it's very easy placement into the marketplace. And secondly, you can test the market very at a very cheap cost rather than making it creative and putting the ad on TV and then trying to see what happened and then reaching out to 100,000 outlets and then seeing what happens to the brand. You very quickly test the market like this, so that way it has become very easy for us to launch a new product in the market. So as to say, so this is about the brands which have been launched in the e-commerce first. But if you look at the way we launched products like last year when the pandemic began last year, on the March, and we launched, say, for example, sanitizer. That was done in a matter of just about 12-13 days, which has never been done in this company ever before. I don't think any other FMCG would have also launched a product in such a short period of time. And similarly, we launched several other products, and we reached out to, say, a large number of outlets. And for us, if you reach out to 100,000 outlets, that's when you start building up scale. Otherwise, you never build up scale. So brands which are, like, say, in lesser number of outlets, say 10,000 outlets or lesser, those will never see light of the day. So you have to, first of all, reach out to such a huge number of outlets. Then secondly, your repeat order has to be very good. Your repeat business has to be very good. So there are the two kind of categories. The point I'm trying to get at is that there are two types of products which are, one is that when a product is launched in a large scale, and one is launched in the e-commerce. So that e-commerce has made it very easy for us to launch limited scope, and lets you test the market, lets you see what's happening in the marketplace, and really helps you.
Yeah, no, Rajiv, my list is so long. I mean, apple cider, haldi doodh, and all the spreads and syrups. I mean, I could just go on, but I wanted to keep it a little tight. So, is it different for any of the other brands I just mentioned?
So yeah, so for example, e-commerce and then modern trade and then retail. So that's that's how you progress. So
Okay.
and one has seen a great amount of success and failures both in all the product categories. There are some brands which came for a very short period of time and then just went away. Like for example, sanitizer. Like for example, nobody uses sanitizer anymore. I mean, people know that their hands are clean. or say no, it really doesn't help. So it had a very short life. But there are products which have stayed on. Like Tulsi drops and say even mustard oil, for example, which we launched in e-commerce, and that has stayed on. That's a very good product which we launched last year.
Mustard oil.
And that was the e-commerce first brand, and got extended to say retail as well and modern trade. So there are several successes we've had, and our funnel is our entire chain of the new products is huge, massive right now, and we will keep launching newer and newer products in times to come, and keep testing the market like that.
Okay. No, that's interesting answer. Yeah, so I'll go to Kunal and Rahul at this point, and maybe Rajiv can chime in after they're done answering. Speaking of e-commerce first, I just want to understand one thing, that for brands that have a very strong tech element or a very strong e-commerce element, okay, where the moment of truth, or to use an e-com word, where the fulfillment or the last mile really happens online, for those brands, where does, what's the role of TV advertising versus digital? Or instead of saying versus, let's just say, where in the brand journey does TV come in and where does digital come in? Because the final stuff is happening online. Now, Kunal, for example, you want me to download the app, you want me to transact on it after downloading. So where does TV figure in this whole communication with me?
Well, obviously, I mean, TV is that one thing that introduces you to the brand. It tells you that this animal exists in the universe.
Right.
Therefore, for me, that's one of the most important elements right now. Because I need more and more people to understand that, look, you don't have to go to your CD Uncle Ji sitting there in some corner who's a stockbroker, Sorry. Also, the maximum of my audience now are millennials, right?
Okay.
Now, of course, there could be a debate where say, okay, now millennials are all on digital and why are you doing TV? And I have a beautiful answer for that, but we'll keep it later. I mean, I'll take you through that, but
yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, see, in my entire career, every time I've heard television is dead, and there is no offense to anyone here, has come from kids who've just come out of B school and started their first job. So they haven't really seen India, right? They haven't seen India wherein you don't really get in your car and go to a mother dairy and buy milk, but you walk up to a shop with a glass and say, 2 rupees ka doodh de do. Or you buy 4 pieces of bread and they wrap it in the newspaper and you take it home. Because you need to, your brother needs to go to college and that's his breakfast or whatever. That's the mass that we're talking about. And until and unless we recognize that this is what the bulk of your buying audience is, for no matter what your product is, we'll never be able to. And that audience is sitting on television.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you use television as a medium for last mile delivery, as in suddenly you say, okay, I'm going to make an ad and suddenly my sales are going to go crazy. Of course, e-com does that, but e-com is also not selling anything there. Of course, it's driving that awareness that this sale is happening, right? So therefore, for me, my first moment of truth actually is when he searches for me in the Play Store.
Right.
Downloaded my app, then it's an entire function of how good or bad my UX or my product is.
Right.
To keep him engaged, and then to keep him engaged over and over again. See, I am just a platform, right? Just like TikTok, for example, which is my earliest stint. It's just a platform. It's all the UX or the customer experience and the technology I'm building to make his life easy is what makes him keep me in that square phone that he has, or the rectangular phone that he has.
Right. Absolutely. So, thanks for that, Kunal. Rahul, same question, where the fulfillment of the last mile, the moment of truth, all of that is actually happening online. Let's say for you on your portfolio, the e-com led sales. mostly, even if they're third party, even if they're like on the big baskets of the world and not on an ID app, which doesn't exist, right? So even then, so then for those products, does TV advertising play a different role, or does it come in at a different stage in the brand journey versus digital?
So, see, if you were to do bottom of the funnel advertising on e-commerce, it'll give us a certain chunk of business. Yeah. For example, we're doing a lot of that on coffee on Amazon. Yeah.
Right, you mentioned, yeah.
So, what we've realized is that it'll get you the bottom of the funnel guys who already are aware of ID, have that in one of the brands in the consideration set, possibly likes it because they've tried the batter and the paronta earlier and are ready to take action. Yeah. But the first three things that I said are aware of ID, have a positive consideration towards ID products, and have a preference towards them, cannot be done by bottom of the funnel. Because they're people who are not aware or do not know ID for any good things. Why would they purchase an ID coffee versus say, a Levista coffee or some other coffee? Yeah. So the role of bottom of the funnel advertising per se tends to get a bit limited there, because it beyond a point getting you the bottom of the funnel guys, it can't help you increase your base. The coffee business will not become 10x or 100x by me doing performance marketing beyond a point, because then it'll just start getting expensive, because that's the wrong way to approach the funnel. The funnel is called the funnel because it goes down. People enter from the top and then they distill out from the bottom. So for awareness, consideration, and preference building, storytelling mediums do become important. And that's the role that, they'll finally play. To scale up businesses, you'll have to start the bottom of the funnel advertising. That's where TV comes in.
Sure. No, that's fine. So Rajiv, you could answer that, but I do have a specific question for you. You've been with Dabur for such a long time, that I actually want you to look back and just divide your time at Dabur into eras, right? So the then and now of the role of television, as it were, in the life of Dabur's advertising. How would you punctuate the decades, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so like I can tell you from the time as far as I remember, right? So I'll start there. So 90s, if you look at 90s, was the era when Doordarshan was kind of fading out and satellite TV was settling in, and 1992 there was the launch of ZTV, and there were a bunch of other English channels like Star Plus, etc., which used to have English programming, and then that continued for say almost 8-9 years thereafter. Star Plus turned Hindi, and they started with all the Saas Bahu serials, and it turned the entire market, and all the viewership shifted from say this new age televisions like Z, etc., to Star kind of channels, Star and Sony kind of channels. Thereafter, so those were like year 2000s. Then 2010s, if you remember, that was the time, is like not too far away. I mean, that is the era when digital started seeping in and started becoming important. People started getting onto digital medium. Social media became very important. YouTube came into fore, and that's the time when the viewership of the TV channels started diffusing a bit, and the channels which used to give 10-20 ratings of a program, that started becoming lesser and lesser. And like if you look at era in 2000s, the number one program used to have about 20 ratings, versus early 2010s, the ratings were like a number one rated program would be like about 4 or 5 or something like that. Go down to end of 2010s, which is till about 2019 or something. The number one rated program was just about 2.5 or 3 or something like that. And say even sports, like television sports used to give you like about maximum of 3.5 to 4 ratings, like some IPL, etc. Now coming to new era, which is 2021 now, new decade has started. And so now there are people who are cord cutters, people who have TV sets, but they don't watch TV, they don't watch live TV, they watch the OTT content on TV, and those are the connected TV homes, so as to say. So now TV is divided into 4 parts, which is regular TV, in which you watch regular live TV. Hi Piyush.
Hi there.
You watch regular TV. Then there are people who just watch say OTT content on connected TV, and there are of course free-to-air households and people who do not watch any of these things.
Yeah.
So that's been an evolution of TV, right from where it was, say, about 20, 30 years back, and people used to just think about creating advertising for television, and one used to have impactful creatives to run, and then now it has shifted to, so when you make a commercial, you think of, how will you make a commercial for TV? How to adopt that ad for, say, to run on digital medium and focus on fewer aspects, and how will you make a bumper ad which will be just about 6 seconds and probably in a shorter format as well, and some bit of advertising for a super premium audience like connectivity audiences.
Yeah, no, that's very beautifully summed up. Thanks for that, Rajiv. Now, we have time for just one last question, and I'm going to just ask you to play fill in the blanks, okay, before I move to the next segment, which is my interview with Piyush. I want to just request you all to take one word as your answer. Just give me one word, okay? Fill in the blanks. TV is a dash medium. I've heard so many answers to this, okay? Reminder, I'm going to read my list. Reminder, short-term, long-term brand building, call to action, immediacy medium, awareness, behavior change, category creation. All are true, and the opposite of each of these words is also true. So TV is a dash medium. We'll start with Kunal.
So one word, right? Okay.
Yeah.
TV is a legitimatizing medium. It kind of legitimizes your brand, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Rahul.
Okay, storytelling.
Oh, this is what you started with. Okay, wonderful. Rajiv, TV is a dash medium for you.
It's a long-term brand building medium. It's a long-term kind of medium. I mean, the reason why I would probably remember Upstock's ads are not because I saw it somewhere else. I probably saw it on CNBC or something, and that's why I remember Upstock's. So that's how the brands have been established and built over the period of time. It gives some kind of credence. I mean, I will just slightly move away from this, and give you another example of a news genre. We didn't talk about news genre at all today. We I spent a lot on news genre last year after the pandemic began last year, and people stopped, say, original programming on, say, general entertainment channels, and there was no sport thing happening. So people shifted to news genre, and news was something which was getting watched, and that kind of gives legitimacy to whatever advertising you do. It gives you a certain level of trust to the brand. So if you want to build trust, if you want to legitimize, I think TV is the medium. Still, I would say that for companies like ours, which have been in business for more than 100 years, still TV would be a medium to go to.
Wonderful. We've covered a lot of ground. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for those insights and for your precious time. Rahul, Kunal, and Rajiv, it was wonderful. Audience, please hang back for the next segment.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, panelists, for such an insightful session.